Welcome to the Fantasy Champions Fantasy Football Podcast. Here's your host, Morgan Colby and Rick Lemon.
Welcome to the Fantasy Champions Fantasy Football Podcast. It's a fine Tuesday afternoon, the weekend following Christmas. I'm not drinking a bubbly today. It's the morning time, or sort of the morning time, and I'm drinking tea.
Wow. Look at that.
I don't drink caffeine, so.
Character development.
Character development. I will definitely have a bubbly on the Thursday show, though.
Yes, next show.
Gotta have it. My name is Morgan Colby. I got Rick Lemon with me as always. What's poppin', Rick?
What's up?
Welcome to the finale. Week 17, championship week. I cannot believe it's over.
Dude, that's crazy. This is championship week.
Football's not over, which I'm very, very happy about.
Right. But fantasy football.
But fantasy football. And I guess you could keep crushing DFS. Maybe we'll do some DFS stuff.
You know I will be.
We'll switch it up and do some DFS. I have nothing to do with that. I played 12 times this year.
I've played an unrecommended amount last time.
Spending all that $500 you won? Is that what's going on?
No, bro, I won $5 last night. Because I had Jalen Waddle. Dude. Jalen Waddle's in the Dolphins defense, but everybody else I swung and missed. I had like Kamara, a Saints player that got 0 points.
Yikes.
I still won $5 just off Dolphins defense.
I feel like I can't invest myself in year-long and best ball and also do DFS or give DFS fantasy advice successfully. There's so much involved.
It's too much. It's too much. I could not give advice successfully because what I do is I literally make a lineup like 5 minutes before kickoff.
that's a surefire way to lose. I do.
It works.
I want you to. I'm gonna give you the login for my what is it? My why can't I remember what it's called? My DraftKings account. And I need you to do some prop bets for me from New Hampshire.
Okay. You just let me know what you want.
I want to do some prop bets on the Super Bowl.
CeeDee Lamb over under 6 touchdowns.
Over. Anyway, so yes, week 16 championship week is here. It should be interesting. So we're gonna give you some waiver wire ads for this week. The running back one, I feel like I got a lot today on the running backs.
Okay.
We'll talk about the wide receivers. We'll get to those guys, but running backs are going to be real interesting because we have some big injuries this past weekend, and it leads to a lot of options for you. So we're going to try to give advice, and all of those options are on great matchups. So this is going to be a hard decision to make for a lot of fantasy matchups, especially if you're in the championship and you had James Robinson or you have Miles Sanders or something that you need another play. We got you covered with that. But we'll give you some waiver wire for week 17. Before we do that, check our website, fantasychampions.com. Follow us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. Just look us up on all those platforms. If you're listening on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, or any other podcasting platforms, leave a review, share this podcast with your friends. If you're watching on YouTube, click the bell, subscribe. Click the bell for notifications, subscribe, and then like and comment down below any questions you have for the week. A couple of programming notes. Me and Rick got too lit on Christmas, so it was just...
Yeah, I couldn't see straight.
I couldn't see
3 days.
So we did not have a start and sit show last week. Schedules conflicted. So we weren't able to get that out to you, so we apologize.
Yes.
I wish I had like a wah.
Or.
This week we got you covered. I have plenty of time. I took the whole week off.
Oh, that's good for you.
Yeah, freak you, dude. I'm like working partially every day. I'm going to work vacation.
After this podcast.
As a contractor, not in the building houses sense, but in the digital media realm. I work for myself, And I try to give myself the week off, but every single day I end up doing work anyway. So that's, I don't know if that's measurable or good.
Oh, probably a good thing.
Anyway, so this week we are not covering Week 18 championships. We're boycotting that.
Yeah, we don't do that.
So
if you play Week 18, you deserve to lose your team.
In Sleeper, which is about 60% of the community, and I believe you probably can do Week 18. And what's the other one? We've got a very, very bad interface. My Fantasy League.
Oh, My Fantasy League, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if you they have so much customizability, and that
you probably
platform,
can.
They probably can do Week 18, but we're not going to cover Week 18 championship matchups because it's just not necessary. Sleeper, like I said, does not allow you to do Week 18. Week 17 hard stop. And so I would imagine that Week 6, there were some leagues that did have Week 16 championships, so congratulations if you won. Week 17 is the week where all the championships are probably going to be held. So that is where we're going to hard stop it, and then we'll start off-season, postseason content next week. Maybe some segments on DFS if Rick wants to give his last-second fantasy advice right before Thursday. We're just going to treat it like it's that moment, and he's going to set his lineup right before the game. No. So anyway, yeah. So next week we're doing 2 episodes a week until probably June or July. So it's back to the off-season grind, waiting for the NFL season for 2022 to start. And we got a lot of stuff. We got a lot of stuff planned as it pertains to the draft. So that's fun.
Oh, true.
But anyway, those are the programming notes. Normal week this week, no Week 18 content.
Right. But this is championship week.
Yeah, this is championship week. Pop the champagne. Gotta get some of these.
Okay.
I wish I had some dollar bills, because then I could just show that off. If you're in money leagues, but anyway, so let's do Week 17 waiver wire content. We'll see you, Rick.
I'm down. Let's do it.
Okay, so do you remember last year? Or I say last year like it was like an eon ago, but before the season started. There were some fantasy platforms that were like, Trey Lance. Trey Lance is gonna be a league winner. He'll probably take over by like week 5.
League winner.
And he's going to take over by week 5, so you should draft him in the 8th round.
Right, in redraft.
No.
No.
He does happen to be available this week. Rick, do you want to start Trey Lance in your fantasy championship?
Probably not. But yeah. I will say, so Garoppolo is probably not going to play this week because he got fracture in his throwing thumb.
Jimmy, what?
I guess.
Did he come prepackaged in bubble wrap?
A UCL tear in his right thumb, which is his throwing hand. So that's not good. So Trey Lance is probably going to start this week, and it's against Houston, whose defense I think is a little bit better than some people think, but it's still not good. And in the games that Trey Lance has played this year, against Seattle, he had 20 fantasy points because of his rushing.
Yeah.
And then against Arizona, he only had 15, but it was against Arizona, which is a tough matchup. And he still had 89 yards rushing in that game. He just didn't do anything in the air. So against Houston, it's kind of a juicy matchup, and it's a guy who might run for like 100 yards. But it's kind of the similar situation of like Justin Fields. Like, do you want to start Justin Fields in your championship game?
Sneezed all over the place. I apologize, guys.
Like, do you really want to start a rookie quarterback, even if because like Trey Lance could get like 25 fantasy points this week? I just get like 100 yards rushing and 2 touchdowns on the ground.
That would be expecting a lot. He started a couple of times this year, correct?
Yeah, and he rushed for 89 yards in his only start. And In the other game, he rushed for 41 yards playing in just a half.
Yeah, so I'm going to go out on a limb. I mean, it's against Houston, so it really is kind of a good matchup.
Yeah, I know.
It's tempting. I would stay away from this matchup because there is a chance that Trey Lance comes in and plays just lights out, has a good game, rushes for a lot of yards, scores a couple of touchdowns, has a good game like he did against Seattle, right? In a game that he only played half of. So there's a chance that he could get 25, 30 fantasy points. I would say those chances are like 1 and 2%. If Trey Lance goes out, I'll pay.
Okay.
I'll pay your buy-in if Trey Lance goes off. And I would take that. I would take that. See, Trey Lance is just super risky. If you think this is one of those examples, like if you think you're going to lose, like you don't know how you made the championship. Your quarterback is not good.
Blows. You've been streaming quarterbacks all year.
You've been going with
your
Kirk
running
Cousins
backs for Christian McCaffrey and Saquon Barkley or something.
Yeah.
Like you have no idea how you're here, but you're here. Give it a go and start Trey Lance because he could get 30 points.
Yeah. I'm going to say if you're in the championship, you want to make the right decisions and do all that. I think there's probably other guys out there. It's funny how on Fantasy Pros, all of the options for quarterback are rookies.
Yeah, or second year guys.
Second year. Well, Tua's there, but anyway, I would be, and this is probably just me being a moron, but I would be more comfortable with Justin Fields than I would with Trey Lance.
Yeah.
And
I don't think that's you being a moron. I think that's reasonable.
He doesn't rush a lot either,
but Trey Lance also does have a much better team around him.
That's fair. I don't want to start either one of these guys. If you're looking to stream a quarterback in your league, it's probably a good bet that there'll be other options available that are more.
I was gonna say, will there though? Like I'm looking at lists right now. That's not the one we're looking at, and the options are not good. Gross. Like, do you want to start Derek Carr?
No.
Do you want to start Matt Ryan?
No.
Now, maybe Carson Wentz against the Raiders.
Zach Wilson. Saddle him up.
Yeah, Zach Wilson. Trevor Lawrence against the Patriots.
Dude, I don't know, bro.
That's what I'm saying. Like, Trey Lance might be one of the better options.
Do you want to roll up with Tua at the fantasy championship?
No, I don't. I really don't.
He's not going to get you... Jeez, man. I'm not in a normal quarterback league for redraft. It's either 5-point, 6-point touchdowns, super flex. Like, I can't even give you accurate statistics, guys.
I just go to the Champs League that we're in.
That's
I'm in the championship.
That's a one quarterback dynasty league because we're idiots.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Jimmy's out. Well, see, he's questionable now.
I don't think he's going to play. I know he's questionable, but if he plays, I'll be surprised.
Yeah, I don't know. I would say don't stream a quarterback this week.
Okay, but what if you have to? Gun against your head. I might take Trey Lance out of all these options.
Yeah, I'm going to have to take Trey Lance. I'm going to have to go against what I said 10 minutes ago. I apologize, guys. You dropped Trey Lance off your team in the last 3 minutes. This is what fantasy football is.
To be honest, so if you're streaming quarterbacks...
We should have came prepared.
If you're in the championship streaming quarterbacks, this is kind of like what did you expect?
No, it's true. Very true.
I mean, maybe there's a good quarterback out there in your league, and you're in a 10-team league, and like the guys who missed the playoffs are just like dropping good players.
Yeah,
it's a possibility, but
yeah. I think the two guys that I would go with, and it's risky, but Tua is probably.
Yeah.
Tua's probably not a horrible option this week against Tennessee.
He's not. I think he's going to get more points. What did he get? He only got like 11 points this week against the Saints.
It's just,
but it's a better matchup. Yeah. I think he gets probably around like 17.
The ceiling for Tua is
not as high.
Not high. So you're looking at the high for him probably being like 22 to 25 fantasy points if you're lucky. so you're not winning the week with the quarterback. But if you need a quarterback and your team is just a superstar filled stacked team and you're going to win the championship,
you just
didn't have a
points.
quarterback, then Tua's probably the guy you want to go with. Whereas Trey Lance, if you're going on a risky tangent, you're like, my team sucks, I'm not going to win, then go with Trey Lance.
Yeah.
But those are the only two guys I would even look at remotely for quarterback.
What about Fields? You said earlier you would take Fields.
Yeah, Fields too. I'd take Fields. Yeah.
Okay.
Fields is probably going to do the same as Tua though.
Yeah.
If I had to take a guess.
I mean, his last like 5 starts, Fields. If you take out the Baltimore game because he got hurt at halftime, the worst game he's had is 16, 20, 19, 26.
Okay.
Pretty good.
Yeah, it's
pretty good.
Without further ado, though, let's get to the running back position because that was by far the worst quarterback. But quarterback streaming has been, oh my God.
I know. Of course, and it's week 17, right?
I'm changing the strategy next year because that's pretty horrible. Let's move to the running back position. Okay.
Yep.
So there's a lot of different stuff going on. If you have James Robinson, you're kind of in trouble. He came back, fired their head coach. He, started. James Robinson's really good at football. Urban Meyer is not a good coach at all, so that's not a good mixture. But they fired Urban Meyer. He came back. He got a full workload, and this particular Sunday, he ended up popping his Achilles. So he's done for the year, and probably a majority next year.
Yep,
which is kind of sad. With that being said, it leaves Jacksonville in a weird position for the running back position because I was looking at it earlier today. They, I believe, Sunday had 3, maybe just 2 active running backs on their roster.
Oof.
So there's one guy. It's Dara Gumawali.
Is Carlos Hyde injured too?
Yeah.
My gosh.
I believe so.
Oh yeah, placed on IR.
So they're probably going to pull some practice squad goobers up. But
Adrian Peterson, third team of the year.
Is it even worth it for this team? Like if teams were running them for the playoffs, you sign a running back. But for these guys,
for them, 2 games left now.
You got to tank. You got to get that first overall pick at this point.
If the Patriots lose this week,
protect. Don't even start.
Not gonna happen.
So they have Dara Gumawali. Clyde is dealing with an injury. Clyde Edwards-Helaire. And so Darrell is probably going to take over the majority of the work, but Derrick Gore had 100 scrimmage yards yesterday, or Sunday, I should say. So, that was another injury, another backup running back. Miles Sanders is already projected to miss week 17. So that leaves, guys like Boston Scott, Jordan Howard, available. And then there's also the likes of Cam Akers, who was activated from the PUP and taken off IR or whatever the crap he was on. And so now Cam Akers is currently available as well. So, like I said, the landscape at running back is very, very, very wide open. And all these guys have easy matchups this week.
Yep.
So what I would like us to do is kind of figure out which guys we want to play in each situation. Because I think, for me, there's 3 guys that I'm interested in. And
Clyde is also, by the way, might be out this week.
Who? Say it again?
Clyde Edwards-Helaire.
Yeah, I talked about that.
Oh, you did? Okay, I missed that.
So there's 3 guys that I would be interested in. Or 3 situations I would be interested. That would be the Chiefs running back situation with Derrick Gore, Darrell Williams.
Yeah.
It would be the Philly situation with Boston Scott and Jordan Howard. And it would be Dara Gumawali from Jacksonville. So Jacksonville plays New England. I believe Kansas City plays Cincinnati. And Philadelphia plays Washington. And so in those 3 formats, I think it would be like all 3 of them are decent matchups.
Yeah,
you could reasonably start. So let's start with the Philly side of things, because these are the only running backs that I think we should add. Agreed?
Probably. Yeah, probably.
You want Burkhead, Rick?
No, I don't want Burkhead.
So let's start with Philly. The obvious conversation is going to be between Boston Scott and Jordan Howard. Personally, you can give your thoughts in a second, Rick, but personally, I think Jordan Howard would be my guy. He doesn't get a very high snap percentage, but earlier this season, there was a week in the year where Sanders was out. They had Jordan Howard, they had what's his name?
Kenneth
Gainwell. And Gainwell was out there for passing downs, and Howard was out there for rushing downs, and Boston Scott got like one carry and burned the crap out of me after I picked him up. I don't know what Philly's going to do with the running back position. I really don't. But one thing has been very, for sure, and it's that when Miles Sanders is out, Jordan Howard takes the rushing work, and he becomes their goal line back. It's not Boston Scott going in there on the goal line. It's Jordan Howard. He did not have a game, the good game last time he started. I think he had 16 carries for 69 yards, which is not a horrible game, but he doesn't, get any pass catching work, so he only got 6 points. This game against Washington, because the last time he played against Washington as well, and that's where he got the 16 carries, 69 yards. This game against Washington, I feel like they're going to run it a lot, and Jordan Howard is going to kind of be a bulldozer in the end zone, and he'll probably put in one touchdown. If that happens and he gets 60, 70 yards, then you got yourself a good week. It's a winnable, performance for you, 14, 15 fantasy points. So I would take that from Jordan Howard. I just don't know. Boston Scott would have to go out there and get pass catching work and get rushing work and get 15 touches, and then maybe hope to put one in the end zone, because Jordan Howard is going to get the goal line work. So I would take Jordan Howard, but that's just me.
Yep. Yeah, so I agree. I think I would take Howard too. Okay. If you look at the games where Sanders missed earlier in the year, Howard was getting majority of the carries. In this particular game, when Sanders went out, they actually went to Jordan Howard first, and then Jordan Howard left the game as well. Oh, okay. So he's actually questionable to play this week, according to this last report. So if he plays, though, I think Howard is the guy you pick up. But now if Howard gets ruled out, so this is kind of interesting, because chances are both guys are going to get picked up. But if both these guys are available and you pick up Howard and then he gets ruled out, Boston Scott then becomes a great play against Washington. Probably better than what Jordan Howard would be if they both play. But if they both play, I do agree with you. I think I pick Howard.
So do you pick both of these guys up just for posterity?
You know what? If you're in the championship and you need a spot, like a flex spot, I would pick up both guys. Yeah.
Okay.
At this point, you're championship week. Who cares if you drop someone you're not going to use?
Exactly.
This is the last week of the season.
All right, I agree with that. The Kansas City situation, Clyde Edwards-Helaire is out. Like I said, Darrell Williams is going to get majority of the work. There's a good chance that Williams, if he's available, go get him and you can start him. But there's a good chance that Darrell Williams is rostered. So there's another guy by the name of Derrick Gore. He had 100 scrimmage yards this past week, and he has a good opportunity to maybe put up some pass catching work, some rushing work in this game against Cincinnati. I really don't like Derrick Gore in this situation. So
agreed.
If I had to rank the situations between Philly, KC, and Jacksonville, I would put Derrick Gore last.
Okay.
If he's the only guy available and you really need to start, it's between him and Russell Gage. Just go with Derrick Gore. Just pick him up.
You don't want to stop Russell Gage, bro?
I'm good.
He's been
against
pretty
Buffalo.
Good. Well, yeah, I mean that's.
So anyway, yeah, Derrick Gore, not a good one for me. And then the other position is Dara Gumawali for Jacksonville. New England's rush defense is not good. You go watch Sunday's football game again between the Buffalo Bills and the New England Patriots, and just watch what Devin Singletary did to that team. Devin freaking Singletary
Yep.
I don't know what New England's doing over there with their rushing defense, but they need to fix it.
But I will say, as bad as Singletary is, do you think he's better than?
Oh yeah, Singletary's 100% better than Gumawali, but I think he's going to go. The big thing is like I said a second ago, there's 2 active running backs on the roster as of my knowledge right now. Dara Gumawali and some other guy's name I can't remember.
Right.
So I feel like a Gumawali is going to get, or no, it was James Robinson and Dara Gumawali. Dara Gumawali is the only guy now, and they're probably going to bring some practice squad guys up.
Yep.
If he's the only active running back on the roster, or the only running back that they had that was on the roster to begin with, not a practice squad guy, I would assume that he's going to get a majority of the work that James Robinson would have got. And in that circumstance, in that scenario, I would go with Dara Gumawali here. It's not a bad matchup for him at all. I think he could have a good week. If Jacksonville scores any points in this game.
Yeah. So probably here's my problem with it. I think the Jaguars are going to get shut out.
That's a hard thing to do in the NFL.
They are that bad, and I think, as bad as the Patriots have been the last couple weeks, they've also played the Bills and Colts. Mm-hmm. This is a huge step down from what they've been playing. And I think the defense goes back to looking like they're the best defense since the 85 Bears or whatever, 86 Bears, whatever year it was.
Yeah.
So I don't think the Jaguars do anything in this game, which makes me nervous about this guy.
Right.
I don't even want to say his name because I'm going to fumble it.
Derrick
Agubawale.
He's a good. Yeah,
I'm nervous about him because I do think he's going to get like 15 to 20 touches.
Mm-hmm.
So he might just be good, especially in PPR leagues, off a couple dump offs. He'd be good for like double-digit fantasy points off that. But I don't think he really does much. I mean, Singletary, I know we were talking about how he did good against the Patriots, but he still only had like 3 yards to carry.
Yeah.
He got a lot of his point. He had 6 targets, 5 receptions.
Mm-hmm.
So, and he also he did have a touchdown too. So I don't think Agubawale, whatever, I don't even know. Agubawale.
Yeah, you got it.
Okay. I don't think he does too much in this game, but he's a low end flex option, and I would take him over Gore as well.
Yeah.
I don't expect him to get like 20 fantasy points.
No, not at all. I mean, he could go out and get you 14 to 16 if he scores a touchdown. But
if he does, yeah, I don't even know if he does that, to be honest. Yeah, I would expect him to get like 10.
I think it's a good run and gun if you have, a second or third flex and you need, a guy and you don't have one.
Yeah.
So I do like that. And then, is that all 3? Did we talk about all 3?
Yeah, we did.
As far as the Cam Akers thing is concerned, though, he's not playing. Like, he's not going to.
No, even if he plays and is active, he's going to get like 3 touches.
Yeah. So I'm going to say that Jordan Howard is the guy to have if Boston Scott. I mean, if he plays, and then if he does not play, get Boston Scott. I think the Philly situation is probably the one that I want to get into the most.
Yep.
And then Dara Gumawali, and then Derrick Gore. So
yep, agreed.
If you're setting your waiver priorities, do that.
Agreed.
Let's quickly move to the wide receiver position. What is the update on Adam Thielen? Is he still in or out for Minnesota?
He's in.
Okay, so KJ Osborne.
He played this week, but he quote felt sore, so he left the game. I think in like the first quarter, or no, second. He left the game in the second quarter. So he I think he's probably gonna be questionable, but I think he's gonna play. They said he's hopeful. If he doesn't, KJ Osborne again becomes relevant. But if Thielen plays and actually plays the whole game, Osborne's not going to be relevant.
Okay, I'm just going to say some names here, and you let me know if there's a player that you want. Marquez Valdez-Scantling?
No.
Isaiah McKenzie?
No.
Josh Palmer?
No.
Alan Lazard? Yes, no.
Wait, who's the last one?
Alan Lazard.
Oh, I said no. I'm not
okay. It sounded like a. I was like,
no, I said no.
This one? Rashad Bateman.
He's someone you would consider, but probably not.
Yeah, I wouldn't. I mean, you could pick him up.
Yeah, but at this point in the season, why are you picking a guy up?
It doesn't really matter. So,
right.
Like if you could pick him up, if you're wondering, if you have some wide receivers that are unhealthy and you need, a replacement, it's not a bad one. I mean, he's getting like half PPR, 10, 11 points a week at this point. So it could be a good play for you if you are down a player, but you're not going to get a big, massive championship winning performance out of him. Outside of that, there's just nothing. Like Osborne and Bateman are the two guys that I think are like Isaiah McKenzie. Some people might talk about because he had 27 fantasy points, but that's just because the Patriots shut down.
And Beasley and Davis are on the COVID list. They're not hurt, so they'll be back.
So, yeah. That's the wide receiver position in a nutshell.
Josh Reynolds, if he's available.
Oh, yeah. Go out and get yourself some Josh Reynolds.
What about Braxton Berrios, bro? Jameson Crowder. Well, okay, but Jameson Crowder's out for the year. Elijah Moore is out for the year. And Corey Davis is out for the year.
Yikes.
So I think he had 10 points. He had 8 points, then 10 points, then 12 points last 3 weeks. But he is playing against Tampa, so I mean.
That's fair. Yeah, not bad.
That's
not a bad one either. I'm not excited, but
no, I'm definitely not by any means. But
all right, and then the final position, tight end. Unless you have any more wide receivers you want to discuss.
No, I think that's it.
Funny because we usually spend more time on the wide receiver position. We're a little over on this show.
Well, so this week is just.
Let's do. I'm gonna pick a tight end for this week. I'm gonna stamp my flag on it. And you pick a tight end, you stamp your flag on it. I'll let you go first this time because I usually take a guy.
Okay. Probably Gerald Everett. Just because he's been good last couple of weeks. He's consistent in getting like 5 targets a game, which isn't bad because he's the red zone guy. And he's got a good matchup against Detroit.
Am I up?
Yeah.
I'm just gonna take a big risk. Conklin blows. Cole Kmet.
Okay, there you go. That would have been my second choice anyway.
No reasoning.
He's been good, dude. Since week 12, he has 11 targets, 7 targets, 5 targets, 9 targets, 5 targets. Yeesh. He just hasn't scored a touchdown.
Get him a touchdown, and you might have a good week. Good fantasy championship week. We talked about Kmet all offseason. He kind of ripped the.
Hey, stack Justin Fields and Cole Kmet to win you a championship.
Oh my God, if that happened. That would be like the grossest thing I've ever.
I know.
It'd be the grossest thing I've ever heard in my life. Well, anyway, there you go. Waiver wires for week 17, the last waiver wire show of 2021. Tomorrow we got some league winner content. We'll talk to you then, guys.
Later.
Thank you for listening to the Fantasy Champions Podcast. Make sure you subscribe on iTunes and YouTube and follow us on Twitter @TheFFChamps.